welcome to another YouTube video. I just got back from an incredible motorcycle ride. It's just absolutely stunning scenery this morning. It was a little overcast, so the sun wasn't beating down on me. Just a great ride this morning. So during my ride this morning, I was thinking, you know, every time I go out, whether it's just down to the grocery store, go visit a friend, or just go out for a motorcycle ride like I did this morning, I just see so much stunning scenery. And not to mention the urban landscape is just so alive and vibrant, full of colors and shapes and textures. And I started thinking, why don't I get into this urban landscape photography, or some people might even call it street photography. And I think it's because I've always been a landscape photographer. It's a little bit different for a landscape photographer where, you climb to the top of the mountain hoping to get a beautiful sunrise with the mist slowly rolling in over the valley. And if you don't get your shot, you might be able to come back the next morning and get that shot, right? It's all dependent upon the light and the environmental factors. Well, I think with urban landscape photography, light has a huge play in it. The environment, the natural environment has a huge play in it. But I think, and I'm still learning this, is what makes it different is the urban landscape changes. There could be a building up one day, it could be gone the next day. The people, cars, if there's people planting crops, the crops could be harvesting the next day. Everything is constantly changing, not to mention the light, right? We're always chasing the light as photographers. So I've decided to try this thing called urban landscape photography. So what I did over the last couple of days is I took my motorcycle out and I explored my local area. Sometimes 15 minutes from the house, sometimes maybe 30, 40 minutes, but no more than that. And this time I stopped, and I stopped at anything that intrigued me, interested me, and I would take in the scene, and then I would try to photograph. I'd try to capture what moved me with that particular scene. Sometimes it was, I don't know, maybe 30 seconds at a particular place. And other times I spent up to an hour, maybe an hour and a half at each location. And I'll point those photos out to you on those ones I spent longer at. But I just had an amazing time doing that. I did capture a few shots that I'm quite proud of, but I'd love to hear your comments and I'd love to hear your thoughts about that. So here are those shots coming up. And at the end of those photos I'm going to show you, I'm going to share with you some of the things I've learned, I've observed going through this process, and what my future plans are. Here's the photos. What an amazing last couple of days. There's nothing like getting up in the morning, grabbing a fresh cup of coffee, your favorite camera, and then jumping on your motorcycle and just driving off with no pre-planned destination. Just letting the world unfold before you. There is so much beauty in the urban landscape, and I've found my composition photographic skills that I've developed in landscape photography to be fundamental. Urban photography or street photography can be hectic. People, cars, motorcycles, buildings, and the like all interacting and moving at the same time. But if you stop and look, slow it down in your own head, and let the world pass you by, you can create amazing art. You can find the light, the colors, shapes, patterns. This combination becomes more about the imagery. It's a sense of wonder, a sense of awe. I've always been drawn to those subjects that make you stop and make you think. Who lived there? Who built this? Why was this left here? And then, of course, the way the subject interacts with the surrounding environment. So like I said at the beginning of this video, I was going to share with you a few things that I've learned in the last couple of days. Well, one, I think the most important is get out and explore. It doesn't have to be on a motorcycle. It could be your car, walking, bicycle. Just get out and explore. And second, carry a camera with you 24/7. This could be your full-blown camera kit. It could be a smaller version of your camera, or your phone is a great device to capture images. It doesn't matter. Capturing the image and enjoying the moment is what is important. And remember, the subject may not be there later. There was a building I've been wanting to photograph, and I put it off and I put it off, and I went back a week later and the light just wasn't right. So I went back a few days later and there was a big truck in front of the building. Put it off again a month later and they had started demolition on the building. Don't put off taking that image if everything's lining up for you that day. And finally, take note, learn how you see the world, and then capture that world. So get out and start making your own art, because these photographic moments, just like those moments in our lives, are just as fleeting as a golden sunrise. So next week, I'll be exploring and photographing more of my backyard in the Philippines. And I can't wait to share that with you. Can't wait to share what I've discovered. In the meantime, it'd be great to hear your thoughts. And if you haven't already done so, please like and subscribe.